What's going on, my dudes? Egg here. Decided to do another tips and tricks video. This video is in regards to Forza 4. It is a game that I play extensively, as people know. It is my main game, mainly because I do love cars. So, you know, during these tough times, not be able to go to live shows, it is the next best thing for me. So I wanted to go into, you know, this is for beginners, people that just are getting into the game, not sure how to combat it, because it can be overwhelming at first. I would say this game is very comparable to other MMOs out there. In my view, it is a car MMO, meaning there is a lot to this game. The fact that it is multiplayer is huge. The fact that it's cross-platform, I love the community behind it. That's why I play it so much, because the interaction multiplayer is so amazing in this game. And it has other benefits. The graphics, you know, the physics are there. As far as like a sim arcade game, I would definitely put it ahead of the others, hands down. But to go into it, I want to go over some tips and tricks, you know, things that helped me, because I know for a lot of people it can be overwhelming at first. You know, this day and age, like a grindy type game could be a little off-putting, but I think this could help you as a new player. It definitely helped me growing, and you know, people coming into my channel and saying, hey, you should try this, you should try this, or you should try that. So I'm gonna go right into it. I would say for a new player, obviously you do have to grind to level 20. So basically, I would say the best way to do that is just do the content. Just do all the races it tells you, do everything on the map, everything that's open to you, just do it. You'll get through all the seasons super quick, because that is a requirement to play online, is to reach level 20, which I love because it helps you learn the game before you actually get into online lobbies with other players. What I would say is, you know, play the game how you want. Obviously it's a game, but I notice this a lot. People come into my channel and they ask me, hey, how do you play this game so much? I got bored after like the first couple of days. Really, it's about what you do and how you do it. You don't want to silo yourself to like one little thing in the game, because there's so much to this game, and I'll explain that as we go along. Like I said, you should try different things. I notice people, they get the game and, you know, they get their favorite car and they just go up and down the map all day. That's fun, but how long is that really gonna last you? That is really just the tiny little piece of the game. There's so much more to the game than just going up and down the highway on the main map. You know, it is fun, I get it. You know, it's fun to do that with your friends and things like that, but believe me, that's going to get old fast. So what I would do is, you gotta diversify yourself. I know there's a big drifting community, you know, the racing community, and you know, I would say there's 3 communities within Forza 4: drift, race, open map. When I say open map, people that just drive around, you know, the map all day, and that's fun. You know, in my stream we do racing mostly and cruising, and people really enjoy the cruising and of course the racing. You know, if racing isn't your thing, just try everything. You know, you could get into tuning, you could get into livery creation. As far as tips that I would give, because I see this a lot in my channel, and this is really the reason why I made this video. I see this a lot. People, they'll get their favorite cars, or they'll get a certain amount of cars, because you get cars from winning race, not even winning races, but being in a race until finish. You get wheel spins. Wheel spins give you credits, you know, a bunch of other stuff, plus cars. So the more you do in the game, the more you get, which I love. That's the reason why I love this game, is the more you put into it, the more you get back. And new seasons are pog. But what I notice a lot of people do is they'll play the game, they'll get a bunch of cars, and then they listen to certain people tell them, hey, you gotta use the auction house. If you want this car, this really nice car, this car is really good. And they sell all their cars to buy one car. If you want to do that, go for it. But the problem with that, and a lot of people don't know this, is every Thursday is a new season. And a lot of times new season brings new cars, or cars that are already in the game, but the reason why they're bringing it back is because, you know, obviously new players, they want to catch up. So it's a good way to catch up and get cars that you don't have. The problem with selling all your cars in the auction house just to get that one special car that you want is when a new season comes and they have a seasonal races that you have to do, or seasonal events that you have to do. I notice this a lot. The races sometimes require you to use specific cars, like a car category, whether it's Ferrari or or whatever it may be. And I've noticed this a lot. People sell all their cars, and then when the new season comes and a car that they really want, they're stuck because they sold all their cars, so they can't do the seasonal event because they don't have the cars that are required. You know, do what you want. You know, it is just a game, but I notice this a lot. People do that, and there is this misconception with this game, and I don't think anybody says it. I think I'm the only one that really says it, but you do not have to use the auction house. You know, do what you want. I know auction house for online games are very popular. People like to buy and sell, and I get that, and it's like flexing how much credits or money in the game that you can get. But the problem with like selling all your cars is you're gonna be stuck in those situations I just discussed. You don't really want to get stuck in that limbo, and I think this game will last you longer if you rarely use the auction house. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but I feel like the players just grind auction house, they get all the cars, this game lasts them like 10 minutes, and then they're like, oh, okay, I got all the cars, I'm gonna go do something else. And like, that's fine, but the thing is, if you want to feel like you're earning something, because this game is like an MMO, you grind to get all the cars, you do it without touching the auction house, I guarantee this game will last you so long. And the other thing is, you can flex to your friends, oh yeah, use the auction house, I didn't touch it, I did all the races, I did the content, and I got the cars by grinding the game. That is more impressive also in my eyes. Again, it's the game, you know, play how you want, but this is a tip I like to give because a lot of people, they say, hey, you know, this game didn't last me very long. You know, I paid whatever the game costs. So that's a tip that I like to give because, you know, the reason why I love the game because it is grindy. I like the fact that it's grindy. Another thing, and this is very important, I notice this a lot too because there is a lot of, like I said, misconceptions, people saying you have to do things this way or that way. Again, you don't have to really listen to me either. But one thing I do notice is, I guess people are a little naive. There are a lot of bad, well, I wouldn't say bad things, but things that people do in the game that they shouldn't. And a lot of people that get into the game, they get drawn to it because, oh, this guy says I can do this and I can get all the cars. I don't have to put all this time and I can go do something else. If it sounds suspicious, just say no. I'm gonna put that out there because there are a lot of people that say, hey, if you do this, you can get this. Hey, like, hey, I got everything and nothing happened to me. If it sounds very suspicious, just say no. Because not only can you get banned from the game because those things that I'm kind of hinting at are against the game's terms of service, you can also get banned from actually playing online on Xbox. Obviously, you know, that's a, you know, higher level thing, but I'm not going to go into what, how, and why because that would just be ridiculous. But there is a lot of things, and it's not only players. I've seen things on social media and certain platforms, not going to name names, that say, oh, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Do this, do that. Just say no. The amount of people that have come into my stream that wish they heard me say that beforehand, believe me, they would have loved to hear that beforehand because a lot of people get caught into this, and I get it. Like, it's very appealing when someone says, hey, if you do this, just don't do it. That's my advice. Stay away from that. And another thing is, I notice a lot of people, and you know, I get it, there are seasons in this game, which I love. The fact that the season changes every Thursday. Not everybody likes it, especially when winter comes along. And I kind of want to touch base on that a little bit because it is pretty evident when winter comes in Forza, people stay away. And I get it. Snow, slippery, can't race a million miles an hour down the highway without losing control in your favorite hypercar or supercar, or, you know, drifting is, you know, not as fun when there's snow on the ground. I get that. But the thing is, this game will last you a long time if you change that mentality and try different things. So winter comes, you can't use a 509 Evo. Try taking more off-road type cars. Get into some rally-based cars. The thing about this game that I notice, the people that don't play after a certain amount of time or get bored of the game are the people that don't diversify themselves in the game. So what I mean by that is a lot of people, and it's fine, it's just a game, do whatever you want, but a lot of people get the game, they get fast cars, and they just drive a million miles an hour up and down the map. Something that I like, it's way more impressive to have control over your cars than just drive a million miles an hour into walls and trees and stuff. I get it, like, it is a game, do whatever you want, but I guarantee people will notice more if you have more control. It is way more impressive. Anybody can drive a million miles an hour and up and down the map, but if you want to stand out and if you want to improve your skill within the game, control is way better than just randomly drive a million miles an hour. I know people hear race and they're like, oh, this game is about just going fast. It really isn't. There's way more to this game than just going fast. And I guess I'm a little bit different. I like more grip over just straight speed. I know these days there's different types of tunes, and there's certain players that like the straight speed, and obviously they get the advantage. But it's way more impressive to take turns with barely braking, or taking turns with ease and having control. If you stay away from winter helps with control, because if you can drive any car in the winter without hitting walls and trees and stuff and actually having control, that is pog, man. I don't know anyone else that would disagree, and that will help you become a better racer, probably even better drifter. The more control you learn, the better player in this game you will be, especially if you want to improve. Another thing I notice, individuals that come into my stream, they want to race, because my community is built on racing predominantly. They want to race, but they get discouraged because they're not doing well. People are getting into first and second, third place, and they're always in the back. The thing is, you gotta keep grinding. It could be rough at the start, especially for a new player, but you just gotta keep going. Everybody starts that way. I started that way. I was missing checkpoints left, right, center, smashing walls, but you gotta learn. Like, that's anything in life. Like, you gotta keep going. If you don't keep going, like, this game won't open up to you. And believe me, this game will really open up if you start learning. And one thing this is where I wanted to go with that. A lot of new players, I noticed this, they'll join online races, or they'll join our convoys, and they realize, oh, I'm not doing too well, I missed a few checkpoints, I'm just gonna leave in the middle of like the event or race. The problem with that is you will lose out on credits, wheel spins, cars. You'll lose out on stuff because you won't get that. Whether you're first or last, you still get wheel spins, which turns into cars and credits. That's how someone who doesn't use the auction house, that's how they get cars. I mean, a lot of people, I guess, don't realize the only way to really get cars is to keep doing stuff and stay in the races. Whether you're first or last, doesn't matter. You still get stuff. One thing I also notice, play the game how you want, like I always say, but a lot of people, they join races or they do races, but they take stock cars. And I get the appeal of stock cars. It's like stock, it's the way the car is supposed to sound or handle or whatever the case may be. But the problem with that is you can't, if you want to improve and you want to really get up there in the ranking, if that's what your intention is, you have to tune your cars. You can't take stock cars. There's not been one person that has joined an online, whether it's competitive or not competitive, taken a stock car and actually win a race, unless like the whole convoy is in a stock car, which unless it's like a full group that you're queuing, but I doubt that will happen. You can't really advance if you just stick with stock cars. And I say this because it's happened so many times. People come into my stream, they join us for racing, and they're like, oh, I'm always getting like, I'm always not like moving up in the ranks, I'm always last place, and they get discouraged. And I ask them, hey, why not give tuning a try? Or if you don't want to tune yourself, you can download. There are tuners that I trust that I go to. A lot of times they don't really want to change. The only way you're going to advance is if you tune your cars, technically, and that will help you overall, especially if you stick to whatever types of tunes you want. But like, if you're looking to learn control of these cars and you really want to like show off to your friends, hey, I can control my car in any situation, you kind of have to tune your cars in those situations. Obviously there's a lot more to go into when it comes to tunes, classes, things like that. You kind of want to build a garage, especially if you're racing. This is racing predominantly. If you want to build your garage in regard to making sure you have cars for every type of situation, once you get a bunch of cars, you'll learn what cars are good for what cars you feel more comfortable with, and there's a lot more to that. That's probably a whole nother video. This is kind of just like a basic rundown of like newer players, but yeah, I would definitely start that way. Obviously everything that I discussed previously, you kind of want to stay stay away from the nonsense. You want to, you know, diversify yourself no matter what season. Collect cars by doing the content. I guess another thing that I notice is new season days. People notice there's a new car and they don't really do a lot of racing because maybe they find going up and down the map more fun. Problem though is if you want those cars, you have to know what to do when it comes to the seasonal events. You do have to race. I mean, technically, if you want the cars without touching the auction house, you do have to race. If you learn the basics, you can get those cars without touching the auction house. And that's what makes it fun, is doing the content to get that reward. That's what makes this game last. It lasts me a long time because of that. Every new season, new cars, or, you know, new seasonal races to get certain rewards, that's what makes it fun. So that's kind of what I would say as far as tips and tricks for this game. I will be making more videos, maybe more advanced videos as time goes on, but I didn't want to go into too much detail. I wanted to make it a little bit on the shorter side so people can figure it out on their own, and then probably will make more advanced, like getting into tuning for certain classes, seasons, what cars are good for what versus cars maybe that you should stay away from, things like that. So thank you guys, I appreciate it. If you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts, hit a like, comment below, and you know, you can always DM me in the Discord, leave a message, and you know, I'm always down to help people out. But you know, I'll definitely be making more of these. Have a good one. Peace. Later.